Alright, so it looks like Marvel is continuing with the new superhero TV shows, and it looks like the next one on their list is The New Warriors. Now, The New Warriors were quintessentially, back in the 90s, early 2000s, New Warriors was quintessentially Marvel's Teen Titans team. That was what they were. They had gone through several different changes, and they had a short... I think they now have a new comic. I think they have a new comic in Marvel now. I'm not sure. They probably will by the time this comes out. But yeah, it's been announced that it looks like ABC has announced that they are going to be doing a New Warriors TV show. So, what do I think of this? It sounds cool, but it sounds like they said they're going to go for a more comedy route. And I'm going to get more into why I think that's kind of... why? Anyway. So, but yeah, I think it's cool that we're finally getting a superhero show on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rather than just throw in superheroes in a spy show and try to make it be like, oh, it's a superhero show, but it's not really, it's totally different. Come on, please watch this show. Please, we put it in Ghost Rider. What more do you want from us? We know the Inhuman story sucked. We know last season was boring. That's what it feels like to me, is that, look, if you are still enjoying Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's totally fine. But yeah, I've just been kind of like in an aura of I don't care. And it's not because, oh, it's because of the Inhumans. Not really. Although it is trying to be too much like X-Men now, I will say that. But, on the other hand, I will say that I will give them credit for, you know, trying new things. And plus, you know, I am curious to see where they're going to go with Ghost Rider, you know, with Robbie Reyes, even though I still kind of want to see Johnny Blaze and Dan Ketch. But that's enough about that. Let's talk about New Warriors. So, if you don't know who the New Warriors are, the New Warriors were more or less, like I said, the Teen Titans of the Marvel Universe, and were brought together to, and they fought under the leadership, originally, of Dwayne Taylor, a.k.a. Night Thrasher. And this is it's a very interesting team, because it's always had, like, oh, look at this, you know, it's always had a very interesting roster. Now, it probably won't be the Christopher Yost team. It probably won't be, you know, the Christopher Yost team with, like, Justice and Speedball and, you know, Kane. Although I do imagine what will happen is that here's what I think. I think it might be a combination of the Christopher Yost team and the original team. That's what I'm thinking, is that it'll be a strange combination of both respective teams. That's what I'm kind of thinking it will be, is something along that line. That's what I'm kind of working on. And I think it's cool that, again, we're finally getting a superhero show from Marvel, finally. I mean, yeah, we've had, and you could say, well, what about, you know, Netflix shows? Yeah, that's on Netflix. I meant on regular cable television. You know, I'd like to see, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't really, you know, gelling with me. And if you enjoy Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I personally am just kind of want something more. Also, they've talked about, oh, and I forgot to talk about this, I might as well talk about this now. There's also talks of a Squirrel Girl TV show. But I've read another article that said that Squirrel Girl will be in New Warriors, she'll be a member of the team. Alright, even though Squirrel Girl's a mutant. I guess they'll say Squirrel Girl's an Inhuman now? And I can't wait for that retcon in the Marvel Universe, because Marvel's all about, you know, making it just exactly like the movies. I need to stop before I get ranty. Anyway, so what was I saying? I think it's cool, but again, what I'm kind of finding hard to understand is the whole humor angle. I'm trying to wrap my brain around why just go a straight-up humor angle. And yes, there was a lot of humor in New Warriors, especially like what Craig Kyle and Chris Yost were doing in their run. They wanted to inject a lot of humor in there. But there was a lot of great, you know, drama to it. There was a lot of great teen drama. You know, they were more or less going into battle like all this. They were going to battle as still kids, and that really kind of left an impression on a lot of them. So it's kind of odd that they're it's kind of odd that they're going to go a straight-up comedy route. And it doesn't mean just because it's a comedy, you know, it can do serious moments. I mean, yeah, you can look at a lot of great comedy shows, and there are a lot of great dark, you know, there are some dark moments and a lot of serious moments. But I am kind of hoping that, you know, maybe they'll realize, yeah, it's a superhero show, let's make a straight-up superhero show. I don't, you know, I'd like to find with New Warriors, I think it could be a balance of humor and, you know, of adult situations. I understand, yeah, it's HBO, so, you know, you've got to, you know, you've got an audience for that. But yeah, anyway, so the lineup, here's the working lineup I think I have in my head. I think it won't be Richard Rider. I don't think it'll be Richard Rider on this team. I think they'll go with Sam Alexander because he's the current Nova. And I know they're talking a lot about the return of Richard Rider. If he hasn't returned already, I'm kind of sketchy on the details, but yeah. I think it'll be Sam Alexander, because it'll be Sam Alexander Nova on this team. It will also have Justice. It will have Speedball. I would also say Firestar. There's one. Yeah, Firestar was originally a New Warrior, so she can be on there as a Squirrel Girl. Silhouette, maybe. Night Thrasher. Yeah, Night Thrasher. Sun Girl. I don't know. I think that would be the team. Like I said, it's probably a combination of both of those, of the new team, of the latest incarnation, and the original incarnation of the New Warriors. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm just kind of hoping they have Night Thrasher as the leader of the team. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But yeah, this, it's a cool idea, but I'm just kind of like, really, do we have to go humor route again? I don't mind humor in Marvel. I mean, look, let me talk about something real quick. I know when I say, oh, you know, what about all the DC films? They don't have any humor, and you don't want humor. Look, I like humor in my movies, but I don't want humor in everything, you know. Being a superhero is kind of a tough shit job, and it wouldn't kill DC to, you know, I'm trying to find a balance here. You know, I'm trying to find a balance here in my medium. So, yeah, and there is places and characters you can do that with. And not saying you can do humor with New Warriors. There was a ton of new humor in New Warriors all around. I just don't want it to be a straight-up comedy. You know, I just don't want it to be a straight-up comedy. I mean, Civil War had, Captain America Civil War had, you know, the great use of comedy and, you know, when to use drama. So, anyway. What else did I want to say about this? I am looking forward to it. I know I'm sounding a little negative here, but I am looking forward to this because I am, you know, again, I do want to see a legit superhero show on, you know, ABC, and maybe it'll cross over with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it would be cool to have, you know, DC has their DC TV universe, and, you know, we've got you know, we've got still part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, mind you, but, you know, we've got the Netflix stuff going on. So why can't we have, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and New Warriors, you know, since they're part of the same universe, kind of meet up and have their own little fun on cable television. And if Squirrel Girl gets her own TV show, then have all three of them together. You know, just stuff like that. But bottom line, I'm looking forward to it. I am, because again, you know, young superheroes, fighting crime, and here's the thing. The New Warriors had some of the most interesting rogues gallery ever. They didn't really have a rogues gallery themselves, per se. They just kind of fought everyone else. The villain that brought them together was Terrax the Tamer, although it would probably be someone else. I think their biggest villain was the Sphinx. I think he was their biggest villain. I'm pretty sure that, you know, that was the guy they constantly, you know, that was their biggest enemy. But yeah, they never really had a big rogues gallery. It was mostly villains they would fight from other villains' rogues gallery. So I'm curious to see who they're going to have as villains in here. Because again, Marvel has a huge ton of villains, you know, they're just kind of sitting around, so let's see what happens. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what do you guys think of a New Warriors and also a Squirrel Girl TV show? Or, you know, Squirrel Girl in New Warriors. Do you guys like the idea? Do you guys hate the idea? Just comment below, let me know. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.